you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest. We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it? He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
Peace and blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Friday, people.
Sensational.
Good to be here. Happy to be amongst the people. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's the weekend. We finally here, man. We finally made it. God's grace and mercy has allowed us to see one more Friday in 2025. Some of us weren't so fortunate. Real quick, I just want to bow my head to them people who weren't so fortunate to wake up this morning. There's nothing humorous about somebody losing their life. I can't make a meme out of that, and I can't joke about it. I think we take life way too light, and we don't really appreciate it, especially when you're on your last standing legs. It's different when you're full of life, joy, peace. Your youth is with you, and your body isn't giving out on you, and you don't have all these ailments. But when you get to a certain age and you're getting met with drama and bills and you're facing mortality, your perspective changes a lot. And some folks just, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to the people who may have lost loved ones this year or even leading up to it. 2024 hasn't really been very kind to a lot of people. That's not why we are here, though. Before I even start this subject, let me give a shout out to my writers and my poets and my content creators. You know who you are. Tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Attic Open Mic returns. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been waiting on this all week. Got some returning guests pulling back up, so this will be a good show. Make sure you tap in. I can't wait. The reason why we are here is because I asked a question on social media, and I was basically asking, why do we demonize getting a prenuptial? What's the problem? I really want to know, why does it come off as such a horrible thing? Anytime I ever heard someone bring it up, especially on a woman's side, it's always met with, you're insecure, or you don't trust me, or ain't no way in the world I'm signing no. I'm not doing that. Are you have you lost your mind? It's always some bullshit that comes with it. And my thing is, I want to be as like fair as possible. I'm on a spree this weekend. I got off early, so I'm getting in my bag. I'm about to make a run, but I want to be as fair as possible, right? So I'm gonna try to cover a couple of things on the men and women's side, maybe to give some perspective, so it doesn't seem like I'm attacking one or defending the other. I'm doing an open mic later, bro. Open mics on Fridays, but I got off early, so I said I'm gonna jump on here early and start the weekend off with a stream. Yeah, you're right. Um, let me read some of these responses I got first before I give my take on it, though. So y'all see that I ain't tripping, right? So here's my, I don't know if you can really see that for real, but I got 60 responses. I got one young lady who said, I'm for it. I got a brother who said, because why even do it if it takes all that? It's for people who aren't serious about each other for real. Go on down, because it's exposed the deal for what it is. Another one says, because white people can throw it out if they want to. Another one says they shouldn't be. I don't have one, but that's because I went into my marriage with the clothes on my back. If I were to ever remarry, you better believe there will be a prenuptial agreement. There is zero chance I'll be giving up half of my assets that someone else never worked for. That will be a very dumb move. People are unpredictable, and considering half of marriages in divorce these days, it's best to protect yourself from future liabilities. That's called insurance. Another person said, because 99% of the ones against them don't want to admit they will absolutely ruin their partner if they become unhappy enough to leave. Marriage has been a business transaction since its inception. The 1% view it as a love connection. Yeah, this is this is ugly. This is ugly. I had one woman in here that said she's for it. I just read you 3 or 4 men who were pretty much basically saying that it's a waste of time. Um, people are incentivized to get married only out of the expense of securing a financial uh, portion of the partner's earnings if things don't work out. Like it's almost being promoted as if you go to a job, you work there for 20, 30 years, and this is your package. This is what you get when you retire. You put in all of this time, pay taxes, this, that, and the third, and then when you hit the age of 66, 67 years old, if you decide that you want to retire and live the rest of your life on a fixed income, then this person should be liable to take care of all of your needs because you served or you worked under their establishment for a certain period of time. It's looked at like it's a job. That's ultimately what this is about. Marriage is looked at like it's a job, a responsibility. You clock in, you clock out. You know what's funny? If you look at it from both sides, right? I'm gonna try to speak from a woman's perspective because you have different types. You have the woman who believes in till death do us part, meaning doesn't matter how crappy of a person you become during the relationship under the same roof. It doesn't matter how many times y'all get pissed off at each other or you say something foul against the person or you argue and yell and money ain't where it's supposed to be. You can't travel and see the world like you want. The person loses an arm or a leg. Someone gets sick and they can't take care of the bills like they used to. When things get boring and stagnant, this archetype of woman is the one that's going to stay there. That's who's going to be there for 30, 40, 50 years with you. That's the one that most men are aspiring to. That's the woman that most men want. But that woman is very rare and very hard to find. Then you have the modern woman who doesn't understand or have any respect for what marriage really resembles or what it looks like. They see marriage as a job. You fill out a contract, and once you filled out that contract, you can pretty much do as you want within the structures of the contract. But most people don't read contracts. Like, if we're being honest, most people don't even read the fine print on like their medicine or their cigarettes or the labels on things that their doctors prescribe to them. When you get those messages through email and you sign up on apps, and when you venture off into different little projects that you have to make sure that you are fully understanding of what you, people don't really be reading that shit. You skim through it, you scroll all the way down until you get to yes, I understand. You click on yes, I understand, so you can hurry up with the process, get through with it, and then go on about doing whatever it is that you want to do. Love and the institute of marriage, they have been diluted. And let me tell you what I'm talking about. When a person is going to work, you're just going to work so you can get a paycheck. You just want to make sure that every 1st and 15th, your money comes on time. You don't want to wait you don't want no excuses. Where's my money? Where's my check? Well, what does that look like in a transactional relationship? Transactional relationships are only based on what you can get out of the person. But in order for you to get what you want out of the person, you have to perform tasks and duties in order to get out of this what you want. And most people, they start off at the beginning of their relationships doing everything. How is it that at the beginning of the relationship you like this person, you enjoy them, you're lustful for them, you're just into them, you're enthralled with the idea of their face, you can't get enough of them, you got to see them and spend time with them every day, all the time. But then as soon as it gets to that point where it's time to lock in, and now we got to come together and put our name on shit, and you got to start trusting that this person is going to do things that they're supposed to do. Like if a man is going to take care of the bills and fix the house up and this, that, and the third, you as a woman will understand that. You wouldn't have an issue with that whatsoever. In fact, you would be happy for that. All you want to feel safe, covered, protected. You want to be loved. You want to be honored. You want to be nurtured in the masculine sense of it. You want to just take care of the house, make it a home. You want to make the person of your affection feel like they are worth your time, that they're everything that you ever could have asked for, that God did right when they brought you into their life. You love them uncontrollably, consistently. There's nothing that can take your eye off of them. There's nothing that can sway you from looking in another direction. That's all you need right there. You'll cook for them. You'll rub their back, feet, all that. That's what, and vice versa. But we've gotten into this transactional era where everything is just do this, do that, get this, get that, bada bing, bada boom. It's very alarming, very alarming. Now I'll tell you this: I was married before. I never thought I would get divorced, and what I know is there's an ebb and flow. There's things that she understood that was on me. She wouldn't step out of place. She just knew there's certain protocols. I understood the same, but we were a unit. We worked together. I didn't have to worry about my clothes, and she would cook, but then I would cook sometimes. There wasn't no real big deal. I didn't have to beg her or force her to be affectionate. I didn't have to come to her every single day or blow up her phone every day for her to say, "Hey, let me pop up on him naked in the shower or something. Let me come up behind him while he in the kitchen and embrace him and show him some love. Let me just lie here with him and watch a movie or something. Let me listen to what he got going on throughout his day. Let me rub his feet because he had a long day. Let me clip his toenails and fingernails and all that shit. Let me just do that because I know that he's dealing with shit every day, all day at work." And then for me, it was me knowing that we got these bills paid, we got food, we got different things going on in here that is covered, and we ain't got to worry about too much of nothing. She had an income, I had an income, and both our incomes were our incomes. It wasn't like no, I'm doing more than she's doing. There was no competition. Nobody was trying to outdo anyone. We just knew like we gotta make sure these bills paid. We got clothes. We got our medical and all. We're trying to save up for a house. This, that, and third. That was our intent. We didn't give a fuck about any of this shit that they out here talking about right now, flying across the world and spending ridiculous amounts of money on shit that you do not necessarily need. We were on an entirely different time, and granted, this is still in the modern era. It's worse now, but my point is there were different standards. When we got bored in the house, and we got bored. When you got tired of being intimate, you had to find other ways to enjoy your partner. You're not tired of being intimate with them. It's just like what happens, and this is something that a lot of folks don't be telling people. I'm gonna have to start talking a little bit more about the whole marriage aspect of it too, because when sex is all you rely on in your relationships and in your marriage, it's not gonna work. You gotta like the person. You really have to like the person. You gotta like their quirks, and you gotta be able to have fun with them when you don't feel like doing anything that involves your pelvis action. When you get bored, you gotta find ways to enjoy each other's company. When you get bored, that's not a green light to say I'm sick and tired of being here. I need to get out and go find something that's going to give me the same thrill that I had the first 2 weeks that I met you. Prenuptials, you know why they exist. I think most people know why they exist. If y'all saying you don't know why, then you're lying. The reason why prenuptials exist is because a lot of women out here are greedy, superficial, and they're not built for marriage. And men are not equipped properly to vet their future spouse. Because if you were, there would be no need for it. There would be no need to sign off on a piece of paper that protects you in the events that you go your separate ways. How do you love? How, here's my thing, and how can you say you love somebody and get bored with them? How can you really love somebody and get bored with them? Oh, it's time for me to go. That's why I say this shit is transactional. It's a job. It's fun at the beginning until you get tired of doing the work and you want to find a better position. You get after a while you get tired of scrubbing and cleaning windows After a while, you get tired of dumping trash. After a while, you get tired of doing the same routine over and over and over again all day. New job offer comes up. It's different. It allows you to do something that you're not used to or accustomed to. It gives you the green light to be more creative, to be more free. That new job always look better. But you don't see what you don't get is what I learned is even if if I'm with somebody for 20 years or something like that, and it gets boring or you know things slow down, you can create that excitement and that adventure. You can create new moments and memories. All of that excitement that you find outside of the marriage, you can find it in the marriage. You do know that, right? The only difference is you don't like routine. Men are more used to routine. We're good with routine. We don't have to constantly be in and out of different pockets all day. We good right where we are. That's that stimulation that is lacking. I put that on two things, right? One, communication is horrible. Ladies, if you are in a relationship with someone that you actually care about and love, I'm not talking about you're just there because they have money or because the sex is good. If you're with somebody that you actually care about and it gets boring or the patterns are too dry for you, you need to have a conversation and you need to open up your mouth and you need to tell your partner what's happening, how you're feeling, so that they can make the decision to do something about it. Because when you shut your mouth and you don't say nothing, you not saying nothing is saying to us, well, you must be good. You're not like being shitty and throwing attitudes and fits and these little clues and shit, all that shit. Stop that. Be direct. Be direct with what's happening. Stop being. Don't do the soap opera shit. Dragging it out, dragging it out, moping around the house, wearing bonnets, dressing like a grandmother when you're trying to punish the person for something they don't even know they're doing. Just say what the hell is going on. Just tell them what is happening. The dude didn't marry. Men don't marry women for money. Men love hard. Men love harder than women love, in my honest opinion. Men don't just marry you. Men are not just jumping out the window just to marry nobody. Men want someone that they can spend their life with. Men are not trying to be out here in the street. It ain't shit out here. It ain't nothing but diseases and spiritually sick people out here. Nothing but diseases and spiritually sick people walking and roaming the earth. Or they're confused. Now, here's the thing. If you're vocal and they don't listen, that's something else. That's what marriage counseling is for. But I often wonder, do people really love their spouse as much as they say they do? Because if I was married to someone that I wanted to be married to, I want resolution. I don't care how much we fight. I don't care how much we argue. I don't care how much you can't stand my guts. I don't give a shit about none of that. I want to fix whatever the problem is because I know I'm not going nowhere. And I don't want you to go nowhere. So what needs to happen here to make this right? The problem is a lot of men don't know how to do that. Communication requires you hearing things that you don't want to hear. It requires you to be held accountable for things that might paint you in a negative light. She could think that you horrible in bed. Are you? And it's not necessarily the fact that your endowment is lacking. You just don't know your partner's body language. You haven't figured out how to communicate with them intimately. If you can connect with them up here and you can connect with them here, the sex is going to be there regardless. So is everything else. You know them. You do the work. You put in the effort. You know what pisses them off. You know what triggers them. You know what makes them happy, smile. You know when they shut down, when they get quiet and secretive. You know all the indicators of that person. That's how you know that your marriage has the chance to survive for a very long time, when you really know the person. Prenuptials only exist because most relationships are transactional. Let me read something real quick. Marriage counseling is a grip session for women. I'd never, you know what? I'm gonna have to do a survey on that. I really want to know how, because I didn't do it. I was suggested to do it, but I never did it. I don't know how or if it works for married couples. So I can't just say one way or another. As far as I'm concerned, we don't even have to go that far. That's not even necessary. You're supposed to be my best friend anyway. So I should be able to say whatever the hell I want to you, and vice versa. We should be able to hash this shit out. When the communication isn't there, I don't even think a marriage counselor is going to help that. because it's almost like you gotta have somebody on the outside tell you what you already know. If I know my partner and then the marriage counselor is telling me what I already know about them, what is the point of you being here? I know why she is like this, but see, she's going, either you're going about your approach with me wrong, or I'm just checked out. When you know your partner, you don't need nobody from the outside coming in. You know why God is so good? Because when God puts somebody in your life, God puts the person in your life who identifies with the version of you that God always saw. God doesn't put someone in your life that the secular world identifies you as. God puts someone in your life that is just another version of you in another form, with traits and attributes that correspond with the ones that you have. So, Anna, you have something that he doesn't have, but the things that you have complement him, because he needs what you have and you need what he has. But see, the problem is, folks out here are they're filling out applications for positions that they have no fucking business getting involved with. Y'all lying on y'all resumes. You're lying on your job history. You're lying on what you do, where your education is from, where you did this, where you got that from. You keep lying about what you do, and then so folks that are sitting up here looking at your resume, they're like, damn, this is pretty good. Actually, this is hell, I need to hire this person immediately. And then as soon as they hire you, you can't even do the job. You can't even do the job because you don't know the job. You never knew the job. But you saw that salary, $20, $20, $30, $40 an hour. You saw that shit and you was like, oh yeah, I need that. I need that. So let me go ahead and make up some pretty shit, sprinkle on some stuff that's gonna make them like me more. And then bam, as soon as I get hired, I'm gonna be a bumbling fool, stumbling all over the place, breaking stuff and all that shit. It was never your position to have in the first place. You lied your way into the position. And that's the reason why we have the prenuptials. That's why men want prenups. The ones who have come before, they thought that when they got married, they found the perfect candidate for this position. Y'all went on dates. Y'all did this, that, and the third. The resume suggested that this was your person until they got the job. And like most people, when they get a job for the first couple, they show up every day, they on time, they dress appropriately, they clean, they just all that. And then after a while, you realize that, oh shit, you really was serious about this. You really was serious about this. You really wanted me to rub your back every day. You really wanted me to care about your birthday. You really wanted me to care about your heart. You really wanted me to be a good mother. You really wanted me to make this a home. You really shit. Damn. This now you got somebody who ain't even supposed to be there doing everything and anything to sabotage the marriage, sabotage the relationship. They start slacking, they start underperforming, but they want to make it seem like it's all your fault. So they don't feel bad about exiting the relationship. When in reality, if motherfuckers would just say, I lied, I needed the money, I needed the job. So I lied on the application. But no one's going to do that. Why? Because we want to get paid. We want to get paid straight up. And if men knew how to properly vet, this wouldn't be such a problem. Social media has lied to women. Social media has lied to men about what it takes to be in a marriage, what it takes to really endure in a long lasting covenant. You do not get divorced because you're bored. You do not get divorced because you see another attractive man or woman walking past you, flirting with you on the job. You do not get a divorce because the sex has not been up to par for a year, 2 months, 3 months, 3 weeks. You haven't gotten pleased in some. You don't get divorced over stupid shit like that. What you're supposed to do. Let me give you a scenario. Pretend like this phone is actually on. I'm gonna do a reenactment. Hey, what's up? I get off in about 30 minutes. You want anything? No? All right. We gotta talk about some stuff. What I want to do is, if the house is straight, everything is peaceful at the home, let my brother or let your sister take care of the kids just for a couple hours. I want us to go out, have something to eat, and get away from the area for a little bit. I just want to have a one-on-one with you. Let's talk. I got the same spot, same restaurant. We might switch it up though. I think we need to do this though. All right, sounds good. Love to talk to you later. Get off the phone with them. Have you something set up, scheduled. Go to a nice environment where only adults dwell. You do not go to anything ratchet. You don't go anywhere hood. You can go to the park. You can go on like a walk. I don't know. You create the atmosphere for the conversation. The atmosphere is everything. If you do it at home, chances are it's not going to give you what you need to get your points across. Both of you need to be able to communicate whatever the problem is. I would say go to a restaurant, go somewhere where it's peaceful. I like being by the water. I would most likely take my partner to the water, somewhere like to a beach or just something where the environment is just tranquil. And then we just have it out there. But you don't just leave the marriage or just step off and go stay at your people's house for 3 months and all that shit. Just that's not how that works. You're getting people who are getting in these relationships based off of lust, based off of greed, based off of desire. Folks are getting these jobs or the I said jobs. They're getting into these relationships and these marriages just because they know that there's a possibility of a paycheck being there at the end of the day. Let me tell you something too. Anyone who gets offended by you even at, if you get offended by me suggesting a prenup, that's all I need to know. Fellas, if you have to ask for a prenup, she's not the one. If you even have to ask for it, she's not the one. But let's say you decide that you're going to ask anyway, and she gets offended. She's still not the one. So you lose both ways. Ain't no fucking way in the world I'm asking you. If I have to ask you, I already don't trust you, ladies. I just want you to hear this real clear. If I even have to ask you for it, somewhere in the back of my mind, I don't trust you because you showed me something that gave me a reason not to. Now, it could be a number of reasons, but if I'm even asking you, that's a problem. And you need to ask yourself, what am I doing to make them feel like they need to have this in the first place? If you care, that is. You might not even give a shit. I shouldn't have to ask you for it. That shouldn't even come across my desk. If my friends or my family is saying things to me like, I don't know about this, you might want to red flag. They see something in you that is not looking right. Your friends are not going to lie to you unless they're just hating ass people. Your family is not going to lie to you. So if they say something ain't clicking here, you need to go ahead, get out your feelings, stop being so sensitive and so attached. All right. Stop being so attached. You're being warned. Go ahead, do what is necessary here to end it before it gets further than it should. We see this too many times. People are getting married to folks that they have no business getting married to. A man who goes into it without a prenup and the woman takes him for everything that he got, you didn't listen, bro. You didn't listen. Somebody told you to stay the hell away from her. Somebody warned you about her. And even now I go as far as to say you ignored the red flags. You basically said, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk her down the aisle regardless. Do you remember that story I shared, Anna, on IG, where there was a song or a chant that was being played, and the choir, they were saying a song. They said it like 5 different times, but every time that they said it, it was a different name. It was a different word. It started off one word or one sentence, and then it ended up being like 4 other sentences. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that shit. Let me see if I can find it. I know. Let me see. I wish I would have saved it. It's this one right here. I don't know if y'all can hear it. I'm gonna try to turn it up as loud as possible. Hold up.
I'm going to play a recording of people chanting, "That is embarrassing," 4 times. After the 4th time, write down what you hear. Interesting. Almost everyone here heard "that is embarrassing." Listen again and watch the screen. You heard the same thing every single time. Our eyes and ears take in electrical signals which our brains interpret based on our expectations. We don't see reality. We see our reality. I'm going to play
I don't know if you could hear that, but it was basically them saying, they were chanting, "This is embarrassing," but then the 3rd and the 4th time it was something else. But like our the way our minds are wired, we'll hear something and it'll be something completely different. That's how it be when we deal with other people. When you're dealing with someone of the opposite gender and you're trying to see if they qualify or you want to disqualify them, that is, if you're not really using discernment and you're not really paying attention to them for real, you will hear something and see something completely different. And then before it's too late, you already got shipped off. That's why you should not. You need what you need to have it out. You need to put it all on the table with these people. Either they're gonna be there or they're not gonna be there. You need to ask all the uncomfortable. Matter of fact, just ask all the brutal, uncomfortable conversations right at the beginning. Go ahead and save yourself some time. Care to discuss the eligible reasons for biblical divorce? I have absolutely no problem with that. From what I understand, there's like one or two reasons, 1 or 2 official reasons where this is acceptable. One of them being the passing of your partner, and then the other being infidelity. anything outside of that, that is different. And it's dangerous. If you're getting a divorce because someone stepped out, that's understandable. I personally, I don't see reconciliation. There's no way in the world you're going to come to me and tell me you slipped up. I'm not hearing that. I'm not. But once you do that, there's no going back. Do you really think that after you slept with somebody outside? I don't know. That's a tricky one. I'm not gonna hold you, Anna, because my ex-wife, she stepped out, and she came back, and I was in an uncomfortable situation with that because I personally wanted to be done with it. She had other intentions. So I don't want to go too far into it, but I don't know how. I think at some point she was more consistent with him, so she stopped with me. But she was doing it at some point. I just couldn't. What is abandonment actually? Is that like, are you saying, matter of fact, now that I think about it, I can understand that. I can understand that. You don't want to be somewhere where they checked out. You're not getting anything. I mean, nothing. Nothing. They just completely are ghost. And you've already did everything that you could to make something happen here. You talk to them. You tried to figure out what the problem was, and still nothing. Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not staying somewhere I'm not wanted. I'm not entertaining something that doesn't entertain me back. The minute you show me that you checked out and I come to you and I'm like, what's up? What's good? You don't want to be here no more? If you don't want to be here no more, let me know. I'll go my way and you can go your way, and we don't have to do this. Stop wasting people's time. Hot take. Let me see. Hot take. Use is not a condition. There was no number 3. Jason would say that there's some behavior patterns that develop in a person. I would go as far as to say you were raised. If you're around people who fought all the time, like your parents fought, or you're around people who are verbally abusive, and you're around kids and family that was abusive, like, and they looked at it like it was healthy, they're most likely going to take that with them as an adult, unless somebody checks it and you basically corrects them. No, this is, you don't talk to people like that. No, you don't stab people. Stabbing people is wrong. We don't spit on people. We don't call people this, that. We don't do that. You're not supposed to spare your children from an ass whooping. It's not, that's not the biblical sense. Is spare not your child from the rod. You don't supposed to do that. But you got parents who cuss around their children all day. They have sex around their children all day. They bring different men bring different women around their kids all the time. They in and out of the trap house. They don't know how to, your kids are sponges. They listen to everything you see, say, and do. So they ultimately are many versions of yourself. The older you get, though, I look at people and I be like thinking to myself, damn, was this how your people was? Is that why you the way you are? Because of how your folks were with you? Abuse or patterns of abuse, to me, are attributed to the way that a person was brought up. You were trained. Most of our bad habits, our attitudes and all that shit is because we were brought up like that. Or at some point during our transition from child to adolescent to teenager, adult, we did a show, me and Patrick, a couple of weeks back, about different timelines of your life. And in these timelines, you actually experience 3, 4, 5 different versions of yourself. Some people are more consistent because they had guidance, so they don't really go too far off the path. But then there's other people who they'll have the whole phase, they'll have the smoking phase, they have a phase where they're addicted, they have a phase where they're liars, they have phases where they think they Santa Claus, they have phases where they think they Pokemon, they have phases where they think they attracted to the same gender. There's people who go through different timelines, and that shit it screw up your wiring. Now maybe I'm off, but what I'm trying to get at is complete abandonment. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not about to stay somewhere where the affection is gone, your presence is gone. You're physically still here, but you're absent. That's torture. That's absolute torture. Hold on, let me see. Okay. Before the let me start getting these up here real quick. For the unbelieving husband is made acceptable to God by being united to his wife, and the unbelieving wife is made acceptable by God by being united to her Christian husband. If this were not so, their children would be like pagan children, but as it is, they are acceptable to God. All right, you cooking. Hold on. Let me get these in. To be fair, none of these relationships are godly, though. Like we keeping it a whole buck. None of these relationships are based on anything biblical whatsoever. None of them. You think a lot of you think these people praying together? You think any of these people are praying together? Praying on the dates, praying before dates, praying on the code approach, praying when they asked them out. Ain't none of these people doing any of that. However, if the one who is not a believer wishes to leave the Christian partner, let it be so. In such cases, the Christian partner, whether husband or wife, is free to act. God has called you to live. See what you're doing and what you're bringing up is an excellent point. And is another factor into why the predump exists. You can't have a successful anything without God present. Period. If God is not in the midst of what you and the other person got going on, it ain't gonna survive anyway. So you're just wasting your time. These people are just coming and going. That's all. It's just traffic in and out of your house. In and out, in and out, in and out. Different people. Because you keep trying to do it the way that you want to do it. You don't want to do it the way that it's supposed to be done. I'm following. I didn't realize that y'all had such a exchange in here. Abuse is not conditioned for biblical divorce. Should you stand there and take it? Never. Leave, separate, and find better living conditions until it improves. Reconcile marriage to. I don't think there's any. If you're abusing someone in any type of way in a relationship, you need to go. There is no reconciliation for that. Absolutely not. Our OnlyFans model killed her boyfriend because she thought that he was cheating on her. She stabbed him in an artery underneath his armpit somewhere, and that was it for him. They weren't even married. But that level of violence is not acceptable by anybody. If you involved in any type of abuse, you need to get up out of there. Now, I wouldn't, at this juncture, I wouldn't be dating while I'm separated or I'm in a process of getting out of, I wouldn't do that. But like there's protocol. Everything has to be done decently and in order. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I need to. It's been a while. I need to get that dust off my Bible. No lie. Because see what I don't want to happen. I don't want to run into people or engage with folks that aren't on the same time I'm on. I don't think anybody wants to. Nobody wants to play the fool or be the victim. Ultimately, prenuptials are set in stone so that you don't get taken advantage of. But it also it gives this, it puts it out there too that you're being exposed for not really being the type of person that you say you are. You can only pretend so long. When it started getting serious, and the dude get on his hand and knee and propose and that, oh yeah, now we getting somewhere. But see, what I don't like is how men and women, they will go out of their way to get you and don't even really want you. Why are you wasting time? You know how consuming that is. You're attracted to them, but you're not into them enough to take them serious, but you want to give the illusion, because by giving the illusion you can get out of it what you want, because if you told the truth you couldn't get what you want. So you stay on this, I'm gonna ride this out until I can't ride it out no more. All you ultimately doing is creating more problems and issues along the way that could have been avoided, but you're selfish. And the only thing about this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Let me take these off real quick. God commanded Hosea to marry a prostitute. He was commanded to go buy her back and take her home after she cheated. It mirrors our relationship to God. We sin every day and he takes us back. Oh, okay. Oh, see, now I really got to read that. I really got to read that. As soon as I, yeah, I'm gonna check that out, because like, damn, that's a tough one, man. I don't. First of all, let me put it out there. Everybody deserves love, man. You can be homeless, you can be a streetwalker. It don't make a difference. If your heart is in the right place and is pure, even though you done went through stuff, God will use anybody. I know that. I don't judge nobody based on their lifestyle, their choice. There's a reason why he uses certain people to connect to you specifically. It's not by chance. It's not a coincidence. And maybe Anna and Garrett, you sharing that with me, it's going to make me check myself. Maybe I'm not really clearly thinking as much as I should be. Disagree. No one deserves love. That's unbiblical. We are commanded to love, and it can be hard to do so. So no one deserves it, but we're commanded to. How does that work? Because there must be a reason why we're commanded to. Now, I understand where you're coming from when you say no one deserves it. But then if that's the case, then we don't deserve God. Well, that now let me shut up. Because we sure as hell don't deserve his love or his grace or his mercy whatsoever. We don't. But he does it anyway. And because God loves us in spite of, that's why we should love them in spite of. So I retort to you, Garrett. God loves us regardless. So that means we have to love them regardless. Doesn't matter if they hate your guts. Doesn't matter if they've killed 1 million people. We have to love them regardless. God is the only one that can judge them. God is the only one who knows in their heart if they are redeemable or not. We don't know. We know this. We know the flesh. We don't know what goes on in the secret place. The secret place holds all truth, all realities. So that person that we might think is the most awful in the world, they could be way more prone to be in his good sightings than anybody else. If we deserve it, then we wouldn't appreciate it. Jesus chose to die brutally for us even while we were sinners. We did not deserve what he did. If we did, then we wouldn't appreciate. We still don't appreciate it. We still don't deserve it. I think the best thing we can do is everything in our power to do right in his sight. You know, and that comes with sacrifice. That comes with a lot of sacrifice. Putting away your childish ways, not feeding on milk alone. I'm the first to tell you, I haven't read in a while. I need to get back to it. He's keeping me still, so I need to stop messing around with it. But none of us deserve his love or his grace, though. Deserve smacks of pride. We can't earn. Yeah. It says in scripture that the sun rises on the just and unjust. Love is the same thing. I like that. I know I read that from somewhere. I don't know what book that was, but that is a fact. See, that's why I need to open up my book, man. You get humbled real quick as soon as you start reading. You get humbled real quick. I think more people need to read too. Not for anything else other than for your own education. Because if you're looking to meet somebody or you're trying to put yourself in a better position to have that house and that home and that family and all that, you are better off getting all of your teachings from the book, not from humans. I can only give my thoughts and my views and my experience, but the word does not lie. The word is the only thing that cannot lie. Exactly. But it helps for healthy discussion. I can forgive anybody. I have. Forgiving and forgetting are two different things. If you beat the shit out of me or you stab me, I can forgive you, but ain't no way in the world I'm going to stay with you. No way. You got to be out your mind. I don't want to have to learn the hard way that I should have left or you should have left. Because the person who's doing the abuse, we don't know what they're dealing with or what they're going through. However, you don't want to risk your own life. What they need is help. And you can only do but so much. That's a tricky one. I personally don't advise anyone to stay somewhere where they're getting beaten on, verbally or on any other way. I hope that's not the case. I hope that is not the case. Antagonizing and I don't know. Like, I know that's a triggering subject. What we're really trying to get at here is the reasons behind, someone getting a prenup. You have to, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. No one should ever be put in harm or in danger. Your spouse is supposed to be your protector. I got you. I got you. This got a little too far off of topic. I'm not too sure what happened between you and Garrett with this one. I would like to believe that his approach wasn't directed towards you, but that's not my place to decide that. You have every right to feel how you feel given the circumstances. But as uncomfortable as those type of conversations, first of all, the fact that she even had the courage to even talk about that, to me, was important, and I appreciate you doing that because you didn't have to. Nobody should be in any type of abuse or ever have to deal with that. But this all goes back to being unequally yoked. It goes back to folks operating from a space that is not conducive with the word. It doesn't align with his principles. You're living the way that you want to live out here, and you've developed like this wickedness about you that is very destructive. Nah, we have to have the uncomfortables. We have to. Too often that it gets brushed under the rug. But I see. I don't want to go down that road. Now we did a part 1. We may end up doing a part 2. So if we do revisit this, I want to make sure that I do it correct. I don't want to do this sloppy. So we'll have a part 2 for this. I just want to make sure I got my thoughts off with this whole prenup thing. People don't go into prenuptials because they trust you. They go into prenuptials because they know who you are. They just ignore it and they want to go along with it anyway. That's how I'm thinking. If I ask you for one, I already got it in my head that you're gonna backstab me. That means that I've always known that something wasn't right with you. But I'm the fool for even staying there in the first place. I should have left the minute that you showed me that you was on some other stuff. That's exactly when I should have pulled the plug on this and did what I was supposed to do then. You should never get down the aisle with somebody that you see red flags with. That has to be the dumbest move. But I digress. I'm about to get up out of here. I'm going to get ready for this open mic later. I appreciate y'all for stopping in. I got to get this link out to all of my participants for this evening. I appreciate you guys for sharing your input. I asked God to cleanse the chat of anything that might have kind of tainted the discussion. I don't think anybody's intentions here were disingenuous. I don't think Garrett was trying to be triggering. I don't think Anna was trying to take that the way she did. It's just a soft subject. Yeah, but I expect or I anticipate the more we start to have these conversations, it's only going to get more sensitive. But we got to get to the root of these problems. I'm going to do a part 2 for that one specifically. I don't know when, but I will. But my apologies if anyone got offended. There's going to be days where that happens. No, they don't. They don't. In certain cases, when we have these discussions, personal circumstances, they can't be involved with. Otherwise, it gets messy, and yeah, we're gonna spin the block back though. I will catch you guys in a few hours. 8 o'clock. We got about 4 hours. So let me go ahead and get my stuff together. I will see you guys later.